I was born in Tijuana, Mexico. I believe I was like 8 years old. I had a herd of goats, and me and my brothers were out there in the middle of nowhere. And we came to this little cabin, and there was a young pastor. There was actually three men of God, I remember. And the one spoke to me words that I've never heard before. And I remember him saying, "Juan, I have a friend that I wanna present to you. I want you to meet him." And I wanted to see him. I remember saying, "Well, where is he? I want to know this friend." And he said, "Well, it's in my heart." And then, boosh, he lost me there. I was like, "Okay, what are you trying to say to me here?" But I remember a song that stuck to me. Even I could forget about salvation, but the song he played with his guitar was, "I have a friend named Jesus." And we sang the song, and it was a beautiful song. And then they left. They were spending a couple of days praying and meditating on that house. And when they left, that stuck to me, that song. So 20 years later, when I got saved, that was the first thing I remember. "I have a friend named Jesus." It was that song. After we got married, we both wanted to stop doing drugs because we used to do drugs together. And we started talking about having kids. And she said, "If you want kids, you need to stop, or we need to stop doing drugs, and we need to prepare to have kids because this is serious." And I thought, "Oh yeah, I can do that." And she stopped doing drugs. She stopped drinking. She stopped, and I struggled. I still was doing drugs. I was still drinking. I remember calling into God one night. I was tossing in my sleep, just tossing. And it was because at the church they were praying for me. My friend that went to prison, he got saved in prison, and when he come out, he put my name in the prayer list. And they were going to come and start inviting me to church. And so I couldn't understand why I was having so much problems and why I couldn't sleep at night. But when I got saved, they told me, when I went to church, they told me that they've been praying for me for 3 years. And I didn't know. Because I remember the 3 years that he was in prison, and he got saved. And then when he came out, he put my name on the prayer list, and they started praying for me. And I guess I was too stubborn to. I remember him coming to my house and knocking on my door and presenting to me the gospel. And I had no desire, and yet I wanted God to help me. And here I was rejecting him. He came a few times to my door, and he was knocking on the door and telling me that Jesus loved me. And here at that, he was a hypocrite. I was like, "I know you. You used to sell drugs. We used to hang together, and here you are talking to me about God." And so I thought that he was a hypocrite. In my mind, I thought, out of all my friends that can talk to me about God, you're the last one I'm going to listen to because you're a bad person. But he had changed, and I wanted to see that. I needed to see more of him to prove me that he had changed. And so he kept coming back. He kept coming back and inviting me to church. And I would lie to him. I would just say, "Yeah, I'll be there." And Sunday I would not go, but I was not happy. I know they were praying for me because I was just miserable. And so, one day I said, I need a job. I remember being without a job for a month, and my wife saying, do something. I need help. You don't have a job, and we're gonna get behind on bills, and nobody wanted to hire me. I had gone through so many jobs in that small town that they were like, well, you're not good. You leave your jobs right away. And my friend said, Juan, I can help you. I can get you a job where I work, but you need to respond to me. You need to be responsible and don't leave the job fast. Because he knew I was just trouble. And he says, but do me a favor, come to church. I'm willing to put my name and risk that with the boss. And I remember I said, thank you so much. I will not let you down. I said, give me that job. And so when I went over there, I don't know what he told his boss, but his boss, when I got there, he's like, I've been waiting for you. Jerry has put a good word, and they hired me right away. And then from the first day that I started working with him, he started talking to me about the Bible, telling me that the Bible says this and the Bible says that. And so he used that. And I listened to him because I felt like I owe him at least that I needed to listen to him. If he has something to say, now I have this job, I'm going to at least listen to him. And every day he would talk to me. The Bible says this. The Bible says that. And so within 2 weeks of me working there is when I got saved. It's been really encouraging to keep growing, to not just be there Sunday mornings and warming up the chair, but actually, hear the preaching and then use it like I have used it at work so many times, and whenever I go on deliveries and I have the opportunity to talk to people, I don't hesitate. I start sharing the gospel, because here in St. George, Utah, if you ask, do you know Christ? And they say, yeah, I know Christ, but they don't even know what salvation means. You ask anybody, if they die tomorrow, where would their soul would end up? And they don't know. They'll tell you, you don't know. Nobody knows. I go, I know where I'm going, without a doubt.